Sure that it is
Yeah, yeah.
live. Yeah,
Just make sure
just
it's
making sure.
live. I'm gonna post on our IG right quick
Da-da-da-da-dun-dun. Come on,
and tag
baby.
everybody.
Tag everybody.
Tag at. All right, that didn't work out.
Nice,
Oh, that was a
nice.
video.
Oh, there we go, baby.
We are live. Special guest, Mama Deal in the house.
Oh,
And of course, Cleon.
I.
All right, join the live on YouTube. Link is in the bio. See you
Oh,
guys there.
there it is, baby. There it is. Okay. Live on TikTok too. Hello, TikTok. Leave some comments. Happy Mother's Day. I guess that's not till tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, yeah,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Happy
yeah.
Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mama Deal.
Thank you.
All right, we're good. And then we what we've just been doing, we just been going live, and then we just edited out the front part for the actual podcast when we post
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
it and upload it. Did you make sure,
Check, make sure.
make sure we're live? Okay, you
Yeah, we're
saw it.
live.
We're
Yeah,
live.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
good. Tune in. Do you have access to your Instagram real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tag you. Just repost it real quick, and then we can get going.
Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, oh, how cute.
Oh, I was like, why is only four showing on there? And you see the four camera views, right? All four?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure. Um, all right,
There we
should
go.
be good.
I guess I'll tag my mom on Instagram since.
I didn't know. We might have like the weirdos on the show or something. Might be trying to follow her or something. We want to keep her discreet.
Yeah, all right.
We want to keep it discreet. So, all right, whenever you're ready, I'm ready. I just tagged that.
I'll put some music on that joint real quick. All right, there it is. All right.
What the? All right, TikTok. Oh, I could probably go double live with you on TikTok, huh?
Double live. That's what we'll call it. Yeah, man. Double. Come.
Double live. Send me an invite on TikTok
Yeah.
to the Real Deal Combos,
All right. I'll add
Oops.
you.
because then they can
Sorry.
we can use the what you call it.
Oh wait, as a guest? No, no, no. I want to invite you as a host. That's what I
Okay,
want to do.
invite me as a host. Can I?
Yes.
I should be able to do that. Taking business
We're
calls, guys.
Oh wait,
recording the
no.
podcast.
Business is always open.
Oh wait, no, no, no. It's this sent out like a mass invite to
Yes.
my recommended ones. It doesn't give me. Okay, never.
Can I
Okay,
be a host?
yeah, that's what
They're
I'm about
still
to try.
talking through some stuff.
Who's that?
We are live though. Join the YouTube. We are live.
All right, I just. Oh, it's not.
We are live on YouTube.
It doesn't let me send the invite
Can you
to.
send it to me as a
Okay.
host or
I have to
my
do it as
regular?
a. It looks like it's only let me do it as a guest.
What about my regular page?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see.
This is the Real Deal theme song.
You
Cleon got it. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome
you
to
can
the real.
only co-host with friends or people you may know. That I don't know why, but it's not let. Oh, because you're not on live. Get on live on your page.
Okay, so I'm now live
Now live on your page.
on the Real Deal.
On the Real Deal Combos one.
Yep.
Okay, so let's try it now. It's still, oh, it doesn't have co-host access.
Oh, because we're not that famous.
Yeah, we're not that famous yet.
All right, just add it as what you call it, just
As a
so I
guest.
guess I could just have it popped up for a
Yeah,
minute.
I sent that over. You still have the invite, or you need me to send it again?
Uh, I accepted.
Okay. There we go. The real deal's on the live. I did some clapping in there. I don't know what it sounds. I don't know what the audio sounds like in those things, but
Nah,
there's
but
like
we got this.
sounds.
All right.
Yeah. We're good.
And we're at 5 minutes, 10 seconds. So,
Yeah.
all right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Deal Podcast with myself and
Me.
that's that, Mr. Cleon Deal. And
Mr. Cleon
we
Deal.
have a very special Mother's Day edition
Yeah.
with
We're gonna let you guys guess. We have a mom here.
we have a
and
mom.
We're
We
gonna
have
let
a
you
mom.
guess whose mom it is. Gonna give you a few seconds.
You only have two guesses.
That's all you got.
You only have two guesses. So, all right, we got Mama Deal here. So,
Yes.
Mama Deal, say what's up. Welcome.
What's up?
So, we tell you guys about the origin of the podcast name. We started it with the Real Deal because Cleon's last name is Deal.
That
so
it is. That it is.
he wouldn't be a deal if it wasn't for this woman
Mm-hmm.
marrying into the Deal family. You
That's
know
true,
what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
So
For sure.
a lot of stuff had to happen for us to be here today.
Everything's a process, baby.
Hey, yeah. So I think that's cool. I'm just going to pass it right over to first. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We love our women, and especially we love our mothers because
Absolutely.
all the crazy men on this earth, someone had to birth them. So we are
Yes.
grateful for women, and we are very grateful for our mothers. And it's funny, I just got baptized on Easter. My mom was up here, and I was like, "Yeah, Mom, why don't you just come do the show now? We're gonna have Mama Deal on the show." She said, "What do I have to say?" What I'm like, "It's just we're just gonna interview you, kind of. We're just gonna hang out and talk. I don't know." She's like, "No, let me do it after so I could watch and see." And I'm like,
she hasn't watched any of the other episodes.
Yeah, apparently not. I was like, "Mom, there's 30 some odd episodes. Just go."
Right.
I was like, started sending her some. I was like, just go watch an episode. That's really all you got to do. It's not really rocket science. We're just
Yeah.
gonna hang out, have conversations, and hopefully you can share some of your wisdom
Your
and some of
wisdom.
your mistakes that you made along the way that someone might be able to learn from it. But I'll let Cleon start it off
Oh.
because there's not many situations where you get to interview your mother. So what is the first question you want to ask her? Because I got plenty.
All right, number one, who's your favorite kid? No.
So I went there before, and I think biblically you're not allowed to love another child more.
I didn't say which one she loved the most.
Oh,
I
okay,
said
that's
which
true.
one's your favorite?
That-
Different questions.
I mean, that's a valid point there.
Yeah. So welcome, Mom. Happy to have you here.
All
Super
right.
happy to have
All
you
the
here.
way from Fruitland, Maryland.
Yes,
Maryland.
Yes.
What up,
Um,
Maryland?
Yeah,
We
man.
like
we're
that
here.
place a little bit.
Yeah, a
We
little
like
bit.
we like Indiana a lot better though.
Get out of here. That's ridiculous.
Thank God for growth.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're here, man. Mother's Day episode, Mother's Day edition. So everything that we're gonna talk about today is gonna be mother related.
I don't think so, but
Hopefully, I think so. Maybe.
well, it's going to be mother related because she's going to be talking.
Exactly. That's
So
what I meant. Like
technically-
related to my mom because she's here.
Yeah,
Does it make sense? All right.
that makes
Okay.
sense.
So, obviously, for those who don't, I'm 29 years old. My mother had me 29 years ago in December. How old were you when I was born? With me and my twin sister, I guess.
Oh yeah, twin.
28.
28 years old.
28.
Now, by the way, we were her third children, but fourth and fifth collectively.
Yeah, because they're twins.
Right. So 28, 5 kids all together at that point.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean,
Think about how old you are right now.
I know.
And I want you to
I've-
tell
I've
me
thought
what.
about it. I've thought about it. Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, I know I can handle one right now. I think, I think, but it's just like, I think my mom was like 23 with three, something crazy. I'm like, it's like, what? I'm 30, almost 32. And I'm like, maybe one.
Maybe.
Maybe one.
So I want to ask, because obviously, looking at looking at our lives now, I couldn't imagine having any semblance of that many children at that point. But what was it like for you? Let's going from the two, I guess, that you married into, and then having the other three, all within, in your early to mid 20s.
What was it like?
What was it like?
Well,
especially with this one.
right. In retrospect, looking back, 2020 is always different. We probably could have waited a little longer because there's things I always wanted my children to do. I want y'all to travel the world. I want y'all to, do things before you have children, because once you have children and you're married, your money and your time is tied up. But yeah, having 5 children by 28 was hectic. Working, because we both work, my husband and myself, and then you have to come home and take care of children. So yeah, it takes a lot of juggling, but I'm an organized person. I believe in schedules. So my children live by schedules.
Yeah. Let's talk about that actually a little bit. So Brandon, I don't know if you grew up with this, but we had a chore schedule that was written out on the refrigerator.
Yeah, I think she tried to do that, but it just turned into like, hey, you do this. It's like, I already did that. So you got to do it again because I said so. That's kind of just what it turned out to. And it was usually we were the house. My buddies used to call it a daycare because we had 5 kids. So all the kids' friends came over to our house. So basically, whoever had the most friends made the most mess. So you had to clean the most. But if you were smart, you made your friends do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you facilitated.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And you helped out a little bit.
Yeah, we didn't really have friends over.
You can't come over because I gotta clean. Oh, we'll help you. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mom, they're gonna come do it. Okay, that's fine. So, we had my labor and then all theirs, and then once it was clean, all right, we can go skate, whatever it was we were doing at the time.
Right. So yeah, we had a list of drawn out chores that we had to do from day to day. And that came from, I'm assuming, you being a teacher and trying to.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I think kids need chores, especially this day and age. There's a lot of soft individuals being raised and just getting everything handed to them. I definitely think you need discipline and you need to have chores as an adolescent for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, and it turned you all into productive members of society.
I think
able to organize.
I think he's a little too productive.
It could be at times, and I would like to think because they had chores, they understood responsibility.
Yeah, I think this man works a little too much.
I could see that too, because
it's your fault.
I know, and my father before me. So yeah, we like to work.
It's just work. I was like, hey, you have any vacations planned? No, I'm going to be working though. I take off Sunday. Said,
that's my day.
That's not a vacation, my man. I don't really want to go anywhere. If vacations are work though, you got to plan it. You got to travel.
They do be a lot of work.
They are work, but once you, I don't know. I'm kind of the same way, because then I get there and I'm like, I could just.
I don't even gotta be here.
I could just drive 45 minutes to Indian Rocks Beach, where it's real quiet, get a hotel, and I'm getting the same exact thing as if I just went to like overseas to Caribbean or something.
Right. You just kind of go places to say you've been there.
Yeah, that's how I feel sometimes. Yeah, traveling is cool, but it is a lot of work as well. But whenever we do our retreat, we got to do it somewhere else, just so that forces this man to go.
I agree. He should take some time off, especially since he's not married or have children yet.
Yeah.
So
When do you want? Have you become a grandma yet?
I am. I have 4 grandchildren.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we're not rushing me. So
no, I want them to have them when they are ready.
I agree with that. So I want to ask a question. How many girls did you have? I know obviously one, because I was a twin.
Right.
You just raised one, or how many?
I had one with the first five, and then my youngest is a girl. She's 14.
Okay. So how would you, what I guess recommendations would you give on somebody that has to raise a female during the time when you raised her? And then if you had to do it in today's day and age, what would you do differently? Because now we're in this social media day and age where everything's a lot more accessible. And I don't have a kid, but if I had a girl, I would have a lot of guns. I don't know. I just not sure how I would do that, because I don't want to be the restrictive controlling, because there's a lot I work in a club. I've dated
Yes.
unsuccessfully plenty of women who have
Hmm.
always had all these crazy stories of controlling guys, rape, and it could be just like rape from their people that they consider friends,
Right.
just because they went out and they got too drunk and then they woke up and that's what it was. So how would you go about, or I guess what are your tips for when you raise your kids? And then if you had to raise them in this day and age, what would you do differently?
All right. So we we're old school, so
Mm-hmm.
we have the grands over. So I don't know if we would do too much differently. One, they need to respect the house and the parents in the house. They need to learn how to get along with their siblings.
Mhm.
Now, my children, apparently, I learned they do it. They did a whole lot outside of our view that I didn't know about until they got older. But
It's going to happen.
usually in front of us, they were pretty respectful to
Yeah.
each other,
Oh yeah, we used to beat each other up, man.
and that's
That's
sad.
just how it goes.
I know it's sibling things.
Kids are good
So
at hiding things,
yes, they
especially preachers' kids. I hear.
that could be true. Going to school, respecting your teachers, and hopefully instilling in them the drive to do well because they want to do well.
Mm-hmm.
Have that self motivation and discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Now we had discipline in our house, and I know not too many people want to discipline their children anymore,
Hmm.
but we
Hmm.
did.
You got the switches,
Oh no, honey, we used the belt.
belt.
We
Yeah.
anointed it with holy oil
Oh, I love that.
so
I wish
that
my mom did that, but yeah.
honey, because you can reach the soul a little better when it's anointed.
Mhm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
because their dad worked nights, sometimes most of the discipline would fall on me. But if there was an issue that I
Mm-hmm.
needed help with, and we had to tell the daddy, we all prayed for that child.
Yeah, my mom used to make us go get a switch, and then if the switch wasn't good enough and she had to get it, it was extra lickings.
Yeah,
Oh
that's extra old school. Yeah,
yes.
so
Yeah, we used to do the soap in the mouth thing too. I think that's a little OD, but it came to a point I could keep soap in my mouth for like an hour and not even
that's
Oh,
have it affect
outrageous.
me. Yeah,
wow.
belts, switches, none of that stuff affected me by the time I was like 10, 12 years old.
Yeah. So
They had to go to extreme measures. Get the paddleboard. No, I'm
a
kidding.
thing we see, a thing we see, unfortunately, with you being a teacher and everything, you see the lack of discipline,
Yes.
kind of firsthand.
Hmm.
Yes.
Obviously, you've told me a few horror stories, but I like you to tell a story or two here about kind of the effects of what happens when you, because we obviously see the effect of it at this age when people are
Yeah.
undisciplined growing up, but even starting at the elementary age, because those kids turn into the ones that we see now.
Well, yeah, it's the
Uh,
cycle of everybody's going to get older, but not everybody grows up.
yeah,
So then it's
Yes.
like you have people who have gotten older, but not necessarily had grown up,
yeah,
having children, and then they just expect. I don't know what they expect their children. Their children's not going to do anything that they don't have. You can't give them anything that you don't already have in yourself.
right. So yeah, I want to let's talk about a thing or two. Yeah, I know you've had over 30 how many years
Years.
of
Yeah.
teaching
Yes.
experience.
Yes. Yes.
Few, there's a few.
Yeah, and children have definitely changed over the years. I believe that
Hmm.
children need boundaries. Now, even if you don't agree with corporal punishment, they still need boundaries. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, we see elementary children who come in and curse out teachers, they hit teachers, they throw things at teachers. But then we find out that they also treat their parents like that
Yeah, of course.
because there's no discipline in the home, there's no boundary set for those children. So Yeah, it gets a little wild when they come to school and we say, okay, now you have rules. I don't know
Mhm.
what happens at home, but now you have rules in the school. So, yeah, continue to pray for us because these babies, they'll climb on furniture, they flip desks, they throw and destroy the
Mhm.
laptops that we now give them, to use for school purposes. So,
Yeah, there's a
we
lot of
see a
bad
lot.
kids everywhere. I think that's not just a Maryland thing. Don't worry,
Oh, no, no.
we got bad kids around here too. Well, actually, I'm actually working on a nonprofit. It's not going to be for elementary, but it's going to be from like 8 to 18, maybe 8 to 21. But it's going to be for kids in single parent households, to help mentor and give them a father figure, help them with their emotional intelligence,
Good.
anger management, stuff like that. So I'm actually in the process of putting together a 18-week program. Got the EIN, registered with the state, so start doing funding and hopefully have that launched by time the next school year rolls around too. So start making a small impact in the local community with that. So
Very
that's
good.
exciting. Um,
Yes.
I don't think the other question ever got answered because this is for me and Cleon for real. If if we have a girl,
Mm-hmm.
like how are we supposed to protect her from all these crazy guys out here that we see on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I don't know
Like,
how much you can protect them, but you definitely need to instill in them self worth,
mhm,
letting them understand that they are worth whatever God has put into them because they're fearfully and wonderfully made. And so that they understand their worth, that they can say no to the craziness.
Mhm.
And and hopefully, as good fathers, they will
mhm,
see you all as good men, and hopefully they can compare and be like, yeah, y'all don't do like my daddy, so no,
mhm.
you're not worth my time.
Mhm.
Might be somebody else's time, but not mine.
Yeah, let's just hope. Let's hope and pray because there's a lot of there's. I hear too many crazy stories. I'm just like, if that was my daughter, I probably end up back in jail.
Yeah, I think it is a interesting thing because like we talk about, obviously we see things that we either accept or reject. So some principles obviously we choose to adopt, and
Hmm.
others we don't. And I think that obviously when it comes to raising our children, you either raise your kids like your parents raised you, or
Well, you
ma-
don't.
or you or you absolutely don't.
Mhm.
We do know that parents treat their grandchildren way differently than
Oh
they
yeah,
treat their
yeah.
children.
They just
Because
baby everybody,
it,
baby everything.
I've watched my niece and nephew do things I
Yeah,
couldn't even dream of doing. I watched my nephew run across the couch one time. I would have been snatched off of that so fast.
you get all the privilege once you become a grandbaby.
That is funny. Now, your dad's not very fond of that, but it's usually me and Ebony home with the babies.
Mhm.
But to your point, I want to bring up because I know CJ be talking about me on the podcast. But it's funny as far as them dating, yeah, there were restrictions, and the 14-year-old is
Mhm.
going through that now as well.
What do you hold on? Because you said restrictions. Restriction makes it seem like we could do things. So what do you?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, no, no. No. Like you said,
Cleon
you
lost a girlfriend because his restrictions.
right, because he wasn't allowed to go out, and she technically is not either. Because our thing, especially now, we need to know the families.
I agree. I agree with that.
We need
There's
to know
people
who's in the house.
because it comes to like you can be an adult but not grown up. So
Right.
that's where I agree with that. You gotta know because everybody's just a whole bunch of grown children
Yeah.
Yes.
that just getting old and they do the same patterns. They make a little bit of money. They never want to change. So everything's all the same as it's always ever been, and there's
Mhm.
no growth or anything like that. So yeah, I wouldn't want my kids around that kind of stuff because they're gonna
Yeah.
their brain is going to be a sponge to what they say because they're an adult. You got to respect your elders, so that's what they're going to think that
Oh,
they have to
definitely.
do,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
then they could say something outlandish that stays with them
Mhm.
forever and be like, nah, 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 nah.
Yeah, growing up, you understand it more on why, because being this age and meeting people who are parents that are my age, and I'm like, if I had kids at this age, I would never let them anywhere around you and your kids. I've just
Yeah, absolutely
seen
not.
Oh,
I've seen
wow.
outrageous things. Even when
Yes,
we were selling life insurance, we would see how people would be in their own houses,
Yeah,
and you just never know what's going on over there.
exactly.
People, yeah.
there
So
there are a lot of good people in this world, but from both the professions that we have done, you also see that there are a lot of losers. There's a lot of people that don't focus on growth. It's just they getting older, but they're not growing up.
right.
So it's like not a good sight to see. But everyone has free will. So if
That's it.
you want to live, that's how you want to live, then we ain't the ones to change it or anything
Mhm.
like that. So
What would you say is one of the more challenging things about being a parent, besides everything?
Right, right, right. Um, Challenging, especially when you have multiple children,
Hmm.
understanding that each one is different and each one needs a different type of parent.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And so with the first five, I think we parented you all a little differently than we do Ebony, who's technically being raised as an only child, although she's the youngest of six.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she gets a different type of parent.
Hmm.
So that's challenging. And then making sure you meet all the needs, especially when all of them want to be involved in some type of sport, which also adds more to your schedule as you have to run to each practice, attend every game,
Right.
and still make sure you get to church.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been
Yeah.
in church every Sunday since February, or since my pastor came back.
Well, all
Yeah,
right.
man. Go to work, go to sleep 4 a.m., wake up 8 a.m., get 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 a good word in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
it can work, CJ.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I
I
call him
believe
CJ, not Cleveland. I'm sorry.
it.
I kind of got the gist.
Yeah.
Now the secret's out. Everybody call him CJ. That's the secret now.
So yeah, that running around, because obviously both me, older brother, we were in sports, and then also Selena. I know she did cheerleading. She did dance at some point as well.
Right.
Yeah, and so trying to run around
Mm-hmm.
and do all those things with us, and then obviously with the church schedule that I thought was hectic just by myself
Yeah,
already.
yeah. I remember
Um,
you were telling me you was in the church every single day or something.
Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then depending on the week, sometimes all week.
Yeah, what are
All right.
what are your thoughts on that? Keeping a kid in church that many days out the week? Because don't you think that it could potentially like turn them away from it when they get older?
It could. It definitely could. One thing one of my children told me, they wish that we would taught them how to have a relationship with
Yeah, yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
instead of being in church all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen some children, yeah, totally turn away.
Yep.
Um, uh, we're hoping that that seed is planted, somebody else will come and water it, and then they will grow back into that. But the
Yeah, I
Bible
agree.
says train them up,
Hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
they'll come back.
Yeah, I think the relationship part is really important. Yeah, no, the
I'm
relation
not gonna
the
pick on him. Go ahead.
yeah, no, you can pick on him. That's fine. He needs to be in church. I mean, I've went through phases of it as well. Once you find somebody you want to go to church with, or you find a good pastor, then that's like what I want to
That's the
support. I
part.
don't want to
Yeah.
support like
Mhm.
some random guy that I don't really know just because he's very motivational. I don't want to tithe that kind of
Right.
church. I want to tithe something that I trust the person that is in there preaching. But yeah, that the religion part ends up turning a lot of people away when they don't understand the relationship part of it.
Yes.
And I think that growing up, well, I only went to youth group, so it was like we always had fun. We played basketball before church service started, and then they sang, and everybody was cool, and we had snacks and stuff. So that was like my experience with church. Then it
Mhm.
was all good. But then when I got back into it, and I went to started going to church before my pastor had left during COVID and came back. It was a Pentecost church,
Okay.
so I'm like one of the only white people, so it was a different kind of experience. So I'm just like, oh, okay. So I'm not sure if I really like this kind of experience, but I'm going to be here because I like this person and I'm going to support this person.
Okay.
And then now, once I realized, like realized how much of a relationship it is, then I realized, okay, that's just how people have their relationship with God. mine can be silent because I'm very like more of the kind of quiet, sit back
Okay,
and have my
gotcha.
own internal kind of conversations.
Mhm.
I don't want to like yell and shout, especially after work. You know, it's already loud. That's what my pastor said. He said you don't want it to be loud because you just heard all the music from 4 hours ago.
Mhm. Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
you probably got a good point. That's probably why
Mhm.
I want it dark in here and I want it quiet in here.
Right.
But he put me in charge of the media so I can control the lights and make it really dark in there.
Oh my goodness.
He's like, why is it so dark in here? I was like, yeah, just in case I fall asleep. But I think it's really important when you're getting introduced to church or you bring someone is to teach them about the relationship and that you don't necessarily need the church to have the relationship with them. You know, you can talk to God at all, talk to Jesus at all points in time of your day.
True.
When you get a good parking spot, you had a good meal, you pray before your meal, whatever it may be.
Yes.
It's a constant relationship. You don't need a certain date and time to sit and speak with them. You can do it throughout your entire day. And I think once people realize that, then that helps them. That's what helped me, at
Okay.
least on my journey, get better at it.
Now, did you go ahead? Are you about to say
Well,
something?
I was just going to say as
Hmm.
well, because um, one reason why people may turn away,
Hmm.
unfortunately, is usually due to the people
Right.
in the church. And if they don't see those people being consistent in their walk,
Hmm.
then they think everybody's fake and it's not real.
Yeah,
But so that's why it's important to have your own relationship with Christ,
100%.
and then pray for those people.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Because it is tough because people who weren't there and molded by it, they will take your relationship with it as what it is. Like that's the only thing that I know from this. And I know that you go to church and you do this every Sunday, but you are the meanest person outside of here. So that's the only version of that they know.
Yeah,
And like, well,
yeah,
Right.
I don't want to be that. You know
that's
what I'm saying?
not
So
the.
why would I want
Exactly.
to be there?
There's a lot of fake Christians. I think that's the term that they call. You know, they
Progressing
progressing.
Christians.
I just call they're fake. You know what I'm saying? They're out there treating people disrespectful. I mean, I'm not perfect. I still cuss, and I know that's not good, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I'm a lot further along than where I used to be, and we thank God for that. But there's people that just don't even try, and they're just like are extremely rude or mean, and then they go to church, they try and pray it out, and then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, but that's not how you live, and you live like that on Sunday, but you were just blackout drunk on Saturday, and you just made it to church because it was Easter service, and your family told you to go, but I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say
You just said it.
nothing. I
You
did. I
already
did. I
said
did.
it.
I
Yeah.
did. I did.
Well, since you're an avid reader, Brandon, you might want to check out Not a Fan,
Not a fan.
which focuses on people who are fans of Jesus, but not
Mhm.
followers. So they'll go in and clap it up and cheer,
Yeah.
like we do for teams, but they don't
Hmm.
follow Jesus and his teachings. So therefore, we don't see that consistency because they're not a
Yeah.
follower. They're just a fan. I'm gonna
Mhm.
show up, I'm gonna do my cheer, I'm gonna do whatever, and then I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, and the problem is they think that that's enough.
Right.
But it's not enough to just be a good person. You actually have to be a follower of Jesus Christ because it does say in the Bible that you only get to the kingdom through Jesus.
That's true.
I've been reading.
All right.
I've been reading. So I got a question. You've been married to a pastor
Yes.
for how many years?
30. This is 35th. Come
35.
December.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what's up. So if you guys ever wondered why Cleon is such a wild child, he's a pastor's son.
I'm not.
I'm just
Wow,
kidding.
that's crazy.
I'm just kidding. Never mind. I like to call Cleon the silent killer. You know, take that information however you want.
Don't take it anywhere. Actually, leave it right there.
And I assume you've only been married one time.
Correct.
What makes a marriage successful? Obviously, he's a pastor, but how do you guys keep God in the center of that relationship, even through obviously you guys have probably had hundreds of storms that you went through together, fights,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even thought about divorce a couple of times. We're all human, so it's a
Oh
very
yeah,
normal thing
absolutely.
to do. Um, how'd you keep God in the middle of all those storms as they were happening? Could you give us a couple stories?
It's funny you say I'm married to a pastor. I'm married to a man who
Hey, that is
operates as a pastor.
that is true. That is true. I
All
like
right.
that.
So first, remembering that he is a man,
Mm-hmm.
we definitely had to be intentional, especially once we got past year 20. Had to be intentional about keeping God in the center of our relationship, praying together,
Mm-hmm.
studying together, because when a man is in charge of a church, he likes to spend a lot of time at that church and making sure that it's up and running. So
Right.
sometimes we feel that is the mistress in our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, those things and communication. And I know everybody says, I know y'all been talking about it.
Yeah.
Communication is the key. You have to talk these things out. Yes, we've had some storms that we've gone through, but we have trusted Jesus each step of the way. And every time you go through one, you're supposed to come out stronger, which we do. And so we can look back and say, okay, he brought us through that one. Now we can get through this one.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been times when I'm sorry, I listen to a lot of podcasts
Mhm.
where um where we felt like we didn't like each other. We
Mhm.
loved each other,
Right.
but we didn't like each other. And so those are the times that you definitely have to communicate. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
what can we do? What do we need to change? And so I definitely believe communication is the key. And if there's a need, therapy is also an
Yeah.
option.
Yeah. 100%. Counseling
And
is
we've
always
done
important
that
too.
too as well.
Mm-hmm. At what year did you guys do couples therapy?
Well, we really haven't done couples therapy.
But you did like
We
some
do
sort.
individual therapy.
Mm-hmm.
We're still I would like to do it. Uh, you know
Mhm.
how men are.
We don't need it.
Right.
Well,
But
I don't need it. I'm good.
What
I'm
we,
good.
what we about to talk about?
right. Yeah, we've already talked about
I already
everything.
handled
So
it. I already handled it. We're good. We're good.
but if I can find a good therapist that's not involved in our church
Yeah,
circle,
that's the
Yeah,
hard part. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
especially
because
with his position, it would
yes.
be definitely harder to do. I have a pastor. You guys can always talk to him.
All
He's a
right.
little bit younger though. He's a little bit younger though.
Mhm.
I was trying to get you to come to church, but I guess your flight might be
Yeah, I'm leaving a little early.
leaving a little too early.
Yeah.
Cleon was supposed to set it up.
Yeah, Hattie.
I'm just kidding. So what does praying together look like? Like praying together out loud, or you kind of just pray together your own prayer next to it?
Gotcha. Um, there are times, and because we're trying to teach Ebony to have a relationship with God as well, there's time we do family prayer
Mm-hmm.
together in the living room. And then there's times my husband and I pray together before we go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, since I was coming on this trip, Friday morning we prayed together.
Mm-hmm.
So we do pray together out loud because we want to hear what each other is praying about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we're praying, well, for me, there's prayers that I might pray that I'll send to him in written form, and so he can see what I'm praying about for him.
Mm-hmm.
So different ways.
I like that. For anybody that is starting a new relationship, what recommendation would you give them on how to keep God first in that relationship?
Well, first, they both need to acknowledge that they both know God.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is the case, then they need to, I would like to see them, find a house of worship that they can go to together.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can work in the ministry together. And then again, communicate and then pray together. Although one of my older sons
Mhm. Yeah,
said,
gave us a little bit of advice when
you're
we were
right. He
there.
was like, maybe not do that until
You're both ready for that.
ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
But you definitely want to have discussions about God, read the scriptures together, talk about scripture and
Mm-hmm.
your interpretation of that.
Mhm.
So you definitely have to be involved in all aspects.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's one thing I didn't do before. So that's I
Yeah.
did a lot of relationships my way. And
Oh,
Yeah.
it never worked out. So you
Mhm,
kind of you figure out, hey, maybe I know somebody who might know the right way to do it. So that's the road I'm going down now.
mhm.
Right. And if you're dating intentionally, then that's
Hmm.
one thing you want to talk about.
Oh
What
yeah.
is your relationship with God? How's it going to look in our relationship? Because if it's not, what's that word? Equally
Equally
yoked,
Equally
yoked.
then
yoked.
you
Yeah.
might not want to go down that road.
Because they could say they're a Christian, but then they
Hmm.
end up leading you to sin. And
Right.
then that's the worst kind of relationship to be in at that point. If they're just leading you into doing the bad stuff you already used to do. In my case. So, all right. What other questions you
So,
got,
so
Miss CJ?
CJ, yeah. Anyway, so I, obviously through life we have seasons. In marriage, you have seasons. Now,
Hmm.
there's a lot of talk about most marriages that fail between years 1 and 5. I believe is what it is. People don't typically make it past 5 years. Um, in your experience, was there what bracket did you feel like was the most challenging for you? Or was it 1 through 5? Was it 5 to 10? Was it 10 to 15? So on and so forth. Where do you feel like was kind of your most your most challenging bracket of your bundle of years there?
Right. I would like to say that I think every 5 to 7 years there's a storm or
Hmm.
stormy season that we go through.
Hmm.
I know earlier in our marriage, because money is one of the things that most
Absolutely.
people argue about and separate over.
Hmm.
Uh, One thing we did not communicate about money, so we
Hmm.
both spending money. That's when you wrote checks before they had all this digital stuff, and we didn't communicate, and so our accounts were always low, and checks would bounce. And there was even one point I remember, the local Toys R Us, had our picture up like, "Do not accept checks from these people," and so
What? What? Y'all don't tell us nothing.
I know. So
Hey,
we
they went out of business.
What?
Don't worry about
right.
that draft, boy.
Picture on the wall?
Because that's what they used to do. They would put up pictures of
Oh
people
my
who bounce checks.
goodness.
So
We could cancel them. This
yes.
day and age, we could cancel them so quick.
So we had to talk about money.
Mhm.
Yes. And then I think we went through a season where we both I don't know if we both weren't happy with how we looked.
Mhm.
We both put on a little weight and all that fun stuff. So that made it hard for us to relate to each other because we weren't liking ourselves.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
again, that's when you have to redo things, change your mindset and then come back together. And so, yeah, we've been, I would say every seven
Hmm.
years or so, there's some type of
Mhm.
stormy season.
Yeah, there's always something. I agree. There's
Yeah.
always going to be a storm. You're going to have good times and bad times, but when the good times are here, just be ready for that storm. When the storm's here, be ready for them good times right around the
Yeah.
hopefully right around the corner. But hey, that's just the beauty of life, man. The beautiful part of life is
Yeah.
that it
Storms
ain't
don't last always.
they don't last always, but they're gonna
Mm-mm.
come back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They gonna come back.
Right.
They gonna leave, and
So
that's that.
I want to know, this is for me, and I'm sure a few people will get a kick out of this. Parenting me. Um, I was your youngest boy.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, I guess the youngest boy. What did you feel like was your biggest challenge with me specifically? Obviously, we all the kids, we had our own thing, but what did you feel like was the most challenging thing with me growing up?
For you, I think it was your passive aggressiveness because CJ wasn't very verbal.
Mhm.
Now, I would say of the top early five, he probably got the least, we say beatings, spankings, whatever y'all want to call
Yeah,
them. He
no
got the
beatings are good.
least because he's very observant.
Mhm.
He would see what they did and be like, yeah, I'm not doing that. But then if there was something going on, he wouldn't say it.
Mhm.
So I think trying to figure out, the things going on in his life, because I don't know if you came you know, I just happen to find out things about him, even still today. We just happen to find things out about him. He
That's
doesn't
why I
always
say
come and talk to us.
he's a silent killer.
Yeah.
He's very, very reserved. You got to pull things out of him. But I know this kid very well.
And
Out
he,
of the years, we
right.
worked together for a few, very, very long time.
Yeah, he's very smart too, and he
Yeah.
has a good
We
vocabulary.
tell everybody he's the white friend, I'm the black friend.
I don't know why we do that. Well, we don't do that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
we do.
wheeze a lot of people.
What do you-
That is
All right, I tell everybody.
Right.
I tell everybody. I like to stir the pot sometimes. You know,
Okay.
make things a little fun.
I
We
see.
only get this human flesh life one time. So
That's true.
So I wasn't very verbal
passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive.
I could definitely see.
and secretive. Is that? Well, I guess that wasn't the word you
Wow.
use.
Or didn't always.
He didn't tell you about the times he would sneak out and go to those parties.
No, because they didn't happen.
No, like I didn't know he had a girlfriend per se until I went to one of his track meets and saw him give her a little peck
Smooching.
or something before he went down to
When was
run his
this?
race.
Maybe he just, maybe
That's
he,
when.
maybe he just met her at the track meet.
Yeah.
Now that's funny. That's because y'all was sitting up on the bleachers. Remember how y'all would put the tent so y'all would sit under the tent? So
I don't
you-
remember. I guess I don't remember what track meet you came to.
That's what I'm saying. I think I came to one.
Okay, because okay,
Track
because that's the one
meets
that I remember.
track meets would go forever. I was like, there has to be a better way to organize this thing.
Oh yeah, no, there were so many events. It was hot.
Gosh.
It was fun when you were in it, but if you was
Yeah.
watching it, absolutely not. I would never go and watch one.
Yeah.
Even if I had a kid. Sorry, I watch a football game, basketball game, but no.
That's what's up.
I'll come watch whatever heat you're running in, then I'm out of there. Yeah, good job. I'm out of there because them things do get hot.
That's yeah. So I guess I didn't share that information with you guys. I didn't know. I don't know if I knew we were allowed to have girlfriends. That's probably what it was.
Yeah. So at what age?
Oh.
At what age are your children allowed to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Because I had my first girlfriend when I was like 12 years old.
That's too early.
Well, I have a younger sister in Oregon that's 14, and I'm like telling my stepmom, I'm like, I was corrupted. You better keep her away from boys.
Exactly. I think 16 because I remember one of his older
I
brothers.
think that's a fair enough.
Fair,
age.
yeah. You know, he brought a girl home, and she failed the interview process.
Which one?
Darrell.
Darrell. Oh, when
How'd the interview process?
is that the
go?
girl he went to prom?
Oh,
with?
we were outside now. Whenever they bring kids to the house and we working, everybody
Mhm.
working. So we were outside doing yard
She be
work.
putting kids to work when they come.
That's what my
Well,
mom. Yeah.
yeah.
What you mean? This what we doing
Yeah.
right now?
That's
Hey,
what we
come on.
doing.
You came at this hour. This what we doing?
And the one main question I always ask every person that they bring home, that they're brave enough to bring home,
Mhm,
what do you see in my son?
mhm.
And she could not answer that question.
Oh.
I was like, yeah, she's not the one, baby.
What do you?
She can't
what do
even
you-
verbalize why she likes you. I don't know.
Can they just say I think they're attractive?
They could.
But
It's not a
she-
good answer.
It's not. It's not. But it's still an answer. Hey,
Yeah.
That's tough on a 16.
Yeah, I was gonna say at 16, that's a little. That's a
If
little.
somebody
tough.
asked me, I'm like, she
Come
looks,
on,
she
that-
looks, she looks good.
Right. Yeah. So what? Y'all don't talk?
Yeah. but
Is
you
he
know.
able to hold a conversation?
What if they're like,
Nope. No.
he's good in bed. Get
Yeah,
out of here.
Yeah. All right.
It would have been whose bed?
Yeah. I can
Not this
imagine. I can imagine that would be a little bit nerve wracking on a 16.
Yes.
So
yeah.
this is what we talked about a lot, right? Because when my mom would talk to girls that people brought over, they never came back. My uncle, actually, shout out Uncle Phil, who's on, he got on the TikTok live. He said hello.
Okay. Hey,
Um,
Phil.
He brought a girl home once. I remember her name. I guess I won't say her name. I remember her name though. She came for a New Year's party. So every New Year's we would have a big family gathering. We play
Yes.
football, we eat, we do all that stuff, right? My mother pulls this young lady into their room and talks to her. I don't know how long they were in the room.
Uncle Phil's girl.
Yes,
Okay.
just them two,
So they're
one on
probably a
one.
little bit older at this time, the girl?
Well, Uncle
Yeah.
Phil is probably like 15 years younger than y'all.
Yes.
So a look,
So the girl was older. than 21 at
Oh
least.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
At
yeah,
that
yeah,
time, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. At that
Oh,
time,
definitely in her 20s somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she brings her in there, mind you. I never, to this day, I never saw her leave that room. But what I do know is that I never saw her again after
Oh
that.
my.
After that conversation, I still don't know what happened during that talk. I don't know what happened.
She immediately left.
I don't know.
What happened? What happened in the What happened in the
What
room?
happened in the
Well, you
room?
know, we just ask the regular questions because one thing women who want to join the deal family need to know, they
Mhm.
need to be able to handle a deal man because they're most of them are very confident. They're liked by a lot of people and they're
Mhm.
charismatic. So if you can't handle that,
Yeah.
all that attention that they bring,
Mhm.
then you know you might not be the right one. And then we got some strong women in our family as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was she,
Yeah, a little
was she-
abrasive.
Did he bring home a Latina?
No,
Oh.
no. I've been the only one brave enough to do so.
How'd that conversation go?
Oh, we love McDahlia.
Oh,
Oh, she fit right in. Everybody, I mean, because even his older brother came home
you put her through
to
the
me.
ringer with the question test?
Oh yeah, and it's funny because my nephew warned her before because we went to the
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
my side of the family first before he brought her
Ah.
Yeah.
home to my husband's side, and he said, "Yeah, be careful because it's gonna start like, come on, hey, so
Good luck.
you're right." So everybody warned her, and she was prepared. She was ready.
Oh,
Yeah, so
She's wonderful.
you know, we never did talk about that because it's funny because I told her, I was like, yeah, they'll have a meeting about you and get back to me about how they feel. We never really talked about this is the first time I'm hearing your feedback, so I'm
Yes.
glad you enjoyed the
good.
visit.
But it's funny, he and his twin, they be
Mhm.
twinning, so they both met their significant others about 4-ish
Mhm.
years ago,
Mhm.
and they both brought them home. Wonderful people.
Mhm.
Yeah, we love them. They're both able to hold conversations. They're not afraid. They talk because
Mhm.
unfortunately, one person that one of the older brothers brought home,
Mhm.
the whole time I'm talking to her, she on her phone.
Oh yeah, no.
I seen, yeah, I was like, yeah, I no.
Them millennials
Mm,
or
Yeah, on the phone is
Gen Z,
crazy.
whatever it is, man.
yes.
It's well, yeah, social media causes a lot of people to really not have great social skills.
That's
So
the thing.
so
Yeah.
it does come off as rude, but sometimes it's just people's way of dealing with like how uncomfortable they are as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's say that and say it. And
But
so,
they're not going to because they're so uncomfortable or that. I'm not making excuses for them.
right.
I'm just saying you got to be understanding to empathize with people and how they grew up as well. But yeah,
Oh yes.
it does come off as rude, and I mean I wouldn't accept it either. I would just take it. Like, get off your phone. Like,
Right.
hey, yo,
And bringing that up. So one thing Ebony did differently than them, she got a cell phone earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Way
one thing
earlier.
I could have changed, I would have changed that because
Mhm.
Mhm.
my older children are able to hold conversations and don't mind being in the room.
Mhm.
But sometimes Ebony gets a little shy
And
and
then she'll go
then
to yeah,
she'll go to that
that
phone.
that's like what it is, especially for the kids that kind of grew up on it. I I don't think I got a real phone till like I think after high school. They had like the flip phones and all that kind
Oh
of
yeah,
stuff. I
yeah,
didn't even people were getting phones and I'm just like I don't even have one. I don't even know what that thing does. I can't text. There's like T9 where you could text faster or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually only got a cell phone because I needed to be able to call her when we were coming back from football games.
Right.
So I had the
My mom
track
didn't even
phone.
care. She's like, hopefully you make it home. Hopefully you make it home. I'll be able to be with my best friend and be like, yeah, Max will get you. You'll be all right. You find your way back. So I was like,
So I think I might have to pull a Brandon.
You need to use the restroom.
Oh my god!
yeah, you're good.
I've
We're
been
finishing
drinking
up
water
anyway.
all day.
Okay. All right.
Whatever you
I'll
need
be
to
right
do,
back.
mama.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
It's only a $20 fee each time you gotta go.
Get out of here.
Only a $20 fee. I mean, we've been going about 50 some odd minutes anyway, so we
A little less than that because we started about 5-6 minutes in, so
Yeah.
about 48.
yeah,
something
so
like
we
that.
Gucci anyways. Yeah, but how you feel about us interviewing Mama on Mama's Day, man? I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, having a lot of fun.
Pretty good
Yeah.
little episode right there.
Yeah,
A lot of Mama insight.
Yeah.
Treat your kids with make sure you instill discipline
Discipline your
into
kids
them.
at home so they not crazy at school. Because what are we doing, man?
Yeah, so they're not crazy at school because there's a lot of that. I've definitely seen that at Shihai Elementary School.
Hmm.
Um, God bless those teachers and those kids.
Yeah, I used to sit inside of her classrooms as a kid because I would be like helping her doing and getting community service hours.
Yeah.
I've seen kids get mad and start throwing and kicking over chairs and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and I'll be looking around like I couldn't even imagine because when we grew up, obviously everybody was in the school system, all my uncles and stuff like that. So we weren't allowed to get in trouble at one school
Everybody was in the
because they
school
taught
system and
somebody.
everybody was in the church.
Exactly. So I get in trouble at this school. They say, "Oh, I know your uncle. I know your
Yeah,
dad."
everything was on lock.
Exactly. So we didn't have that luxury of
Yeah.
even thinking about like I wouldn't even try it
Mm-hmm.
because I know how fast news travels around there.
Yeah, literally everything was on lock. But I think one of the main takeaways too is that in the church too, when you taking your
Oh yeah,
kid in
yeah,
the church, teach them more about the relationship than the religion.
yeah.
The religion
Yes.
is important. It's important to understand the book, read the scriptures, but also know that there's a relationship to it. It's not just like,
Mhm.
hey, here's the rules. You have to follow them for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you're going to
Mhm.
go burn in hell. No, no, no. You can have a relationship. It's a lot different, right? And I think the biggest thing that I had to realize too, especially growing up in this kind of, I don't know, popcorn generation where everything's just so accessible and sin is so easy and you can get almost whatever you want whenever you want. Um, the biggest thing that I had to learn was that, I can't just wait till my deathbed and then be like, oh, hey, I take you to be my Lord and Savior, Jesus. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me for my sins.
Mhm.
Although he will do that,
Right.
that's not that you're gonna be wasting too much time. You don't want to wait to the end of your life to make that decision. And that was kind of some of the thoughts that I had when I knew I was not living the right
Mhm.
way and sinning. So don't do that. Just build a relationship and then let him change you. That's all you got to do. That's build a relationship and he'll change you himself.
Yeah.
So what else do we got before we wrap up here? Mama Deal, is there anything else that you want to share with everybody today?
Um, Not necessarily, but I'm glad you said that. And I heard something the other day that made
Mhm.
me consider what we as Christians do. So they said, for instance, church, we work more on behavior modification
Mhm.
because we have so many rules
Mhm.
Right.
instead of transformations where they learn that Jesus loves them no matter what,
Right.
no matter how the people treat you. Jesus loves you no matter what, and you can feel safe with him, and you can
Mhm.
feel his love at all times, and you can always pray to him. You can whisper it, while
Mhm.
you're driving, while you're at work. Many times, standing in front of the classroom, in front of my children, Jesus help me,
Mhm.
or I
Literally.
might do this, and the kids are laughing
Yeah, we
because
gotta calm down.
they need to know that you can have a relationship with Jesus no
Mhm.
matter what, no matter how bad you feel you are.
Yeah.
God can see past all of
Yeah,
that.
and let him work through you. That's
And
that's the biggest
yes.
thing that over the years with me in my journey getting closer to God is just build that relationship and let him do the rest. That's all you got to do. Now all the urges to do sinful things, they just kind of go away. And it's like, oh, never thought that I would not ever drink again or have sex less or no sex. It's like
Right.
little things like that. You're like, ain't no way I'm gonna give that up. It's like, okay, I
Yeah.
didn't. All I did was just start building a relationship with God and it went away.
Right. You
So
can, because he'll fill in those spaces for you.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It was something that I never thought would be me. Look where I work, but it, if I were working in a club and I can do it, anybody
Yeah.
can do it. Just start focusing on building that relationship with God, and I think that's the most important, especially when raising kids too, is teaching them the relationship side of it, not just the religion side of it. And
Yeah.
any other final thoughts you got?
Yeah, the manner in which we live on our day to day is kind of the best example of wherever you are with your walk. I think one of the good things that was instilled in us is how we treat people, right? Coming from grandfather, kind of starting with him, who just did things for people with no
Yes.
expectation of anything in return.
Mhm.
He would just
Yes.
ride around the city. Hey, I saw your grass needed to be cut, so I came by with my lawnmower. Didn't ask
Mhm.
nobody if they wanted them to do it. Just went and did it. Hey, I cut your grass. Have a good day. Go by delivering bread to people who he just
Yes.
felt like needed it. So starting there and just kind of trickling down to obviously his children, and then we saw that example. And so I think that it's mainly like with me, and people see how I talk and I treat people like, oh, you're always so nice and you're also always so kind. I'm like, this is it's kind of the only thing that I know.
Mhm.
But when you live that way and then you tell people obviously what you believe in, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of the best example for somebody to follow when it comes to a
Yes.
path like that. The manner in which you live and carry yourself every day and consistently. You carry yourself with a smile on your face and a respectful demeanor, regardless of who you're talking to. People see that.
Mhm.
They don't know what it is about you, but there's a light somewhere around you. People are drawn to you.
Yes.
Like you said,
Mhm.
like deal man, people are drawn to you. It's just what it is.
And
What is
also that seeds
that?
get planted by somebody else and then watered by another
Right.
person.
Exactly.
You know, you could
Absolutely.
be the person watering the seeds. You don't even know it. So treat
Right.
people with love and respect as always. And we appreciate you joining us, Mama Deal, on this special Mother's Day edition. That is tomorrow. We appreciate all the women. Oh yeah, that was
There
mine.
we go.
We appreciate
I got chimes in here,
we
man.
appreciate all the
All
women
right.
and mothers that do listen to the podcast. We appreciate you guys and we're praying for you every single day. And once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
All right.